The galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the Imperium of Man. This is the age of darkness. Whether you're a warrior of the Legiones Astartes, an adept of the Mechanicum, or just a mere mortal in a universe of madness, you'll find a place here. Welcome to the Remembrancers retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the vengeful spirit.
Hello and welcome to an episode of the Remembrancers Retreat live stream. My name is Jesse and I'm here with Jason today. How you doing, Jason?
Oh, can't complain. Just getting some painting done.
Nice. Yeah, we are just hanging out tonight, just chilling out, answering questions. Hello to our viewers on Twitch, on YouTube, and Facebook. It's good to hear from you guys. I got bringing on Will. What's up, Will?
Will, hi.
Will,
What's going on? Honestly, Jason, I did not recognize you with the whole setup you got going on there, man. Yeah. I just saw you out of the corner of my eye and I was like, whoa.
I feel like it's been way too long since I've heard your voice.
Yeah, no, it has. It has. It's been probably a good couple of months. Well, no, I think the last time we did it was what was that? Heresy Grad School episode, I think, honestly.
Yeah, that was a while ago now, though.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I mean, it was released recently, but recorded a while back ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine. It is now officially the weekend for me, so salute. Cheers. Prost.
Nice.
Excellent, my dude.
Well, I'm not going to lie. This is week 6 of my continuing weekend.
Oh, well, happy hobby.
I've gotten a lot done.
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, man. We don't. If you're happy, we're happy. That's what we'll say. If it's good for you.
Bunkering down.
Yeah, it's good so far.
We'll try this out. Mr. Baldwick says, "Hey, y'all. Hey, Mr. Baldwick."
Oh, Stack, look at that. Look at it. It's got a little broadcast thing. That's awesome, dude.
Nice. That is swanky.
But, yeah. So, if you got questions, we're here to answer them. In the meantime, we're just going to chill out. I'm going to pretend like we're back at billiards.
Yeah.
Back at the bar.
I'll be drinking a lot less than if I was at billiards, so,
But you don't have to drive back home. Hello, Brian.
That's actually true. Yeah. So I could do that.
Look at that. That's cool.
That is really neat, dude. I like that.
That is professional.
I gotta ask, Jason, what are you painting? I see you with a brush, but I don't see what you got.
It's a little Alpha Legion Terminator.
Very cool.
Oh, snap. Look at that.
You got a certain project going on with that, or?
Oh, no. The Alpha Legion are what I paint in between other actual things. It's kind of like a little palette cleanser because they're super easy to paint and they go really quickly and they look pretty decent, which is admittedly entirely just because I stole the recipe from Mike DeBolt.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, Kara has that Alpha Legion 1500 point Centurion army.
Right.
Yeah. She really enjoys playing that.
They are more fun. Like, they get more fun to play the more I play them.
Mm-hmm.
And they are consistently entertaining.
Yeah. How about yourself, William? What are you doing up today?
Nothing, man. I'm
Just
not
chilling
doing
out.
any hobby right now. I came over on my computer and I guess I could bring something out. I don't have my webcam set up or anything like that.
I got you.
Yeah, I didn't have like a iPad or anything, so I just came out here on the computer and man, I don't know. We may see what I can do.
Travis, you're very welcome for your stickers. I will take credit for that, even though I had nothing to do with it.
Thank you for being a patron, Travis. We definitely appreciate it. Ethan, yep, go get yourself a drink, chill out. We're all just going to hang out tonight. It's super low key, answering questions, BSing. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I do
I don't
have
know
to.
how long we're going to do this, but probably for a while.
Yeah.
It's still light outside of my window, so maybe when it gets darker, we'll see where it goes.
You better be home before the street lights come out.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. I am home.
Yeah.
I know where to be.
But yeah, I do have to do the edge highlighting on those 2 Ultramarine squads. So for the gold. And
Gotcha.
yeah, I'll probably knock that out. Man, I've been looking at I feel like ever since the Battlefleet Heresy compendium thing dropped, there have been a lot more posts showing up in my feed related to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
like I said,
earlier
Austin
today,
even just blew my mind with that.
yeah. Earlier today, somebody posted in the Battlefleet Heresy group, he was able to extract the actual 3D render of a ship out of the video game and import it into his 3D printer and was able to print it exactly as it looked in the game. And I'm blown away that technology exists nowadays to do something like that, right?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I remember like 4 let's see. Well, right now, Brian, what we know is that there are other events around the world that are taking place at around the same time Nova does, and those events have already been canceled. We have not heard anything officially from Nova, though. So, like the top brass at Nova.
Let's wait and see. But my money is
we're still in a holding pattern for that.
We can only hope. And here's Jared. Jared's here.
All right, Jabber.
What's up, guys?
Hey. Pull up a seat.
Oh man, Jared's got that eerie like blue screen light casting on him that you see in horror movies that all take place over Skype. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh my god. I remember that. Garbage fire.
I think there was like, what is it, like Friended and then Unfriended or something like that, where they were like 2 parallel movies released at around the same time.
Does this look less like I'm about to be murdered?
Yeah, the girl's ghost was like in her Facebook account.
Yeah. So like it was FaceTiming people, and people would just disappear from their webcam, and you'd be like, "Oh, that means they're dead. That's all right."
It's gone.
Magnificent.
Yeah.
So what are you up to, Jared? Oh, nope. Oh, there he goes eating.
I just got I've just got done making dinner, finishing up Sentinels, beat Final Fantasy VII.
Nice.
Trying to get a little bit of privacy from a 2-year-old who wants to hang out all the time for some reason.
Oh yeah.
And, how selfish is that 2-year-old?
I know,
You're
right?
Cool.
Buddy, you need to stop jumping. Oh my goodness.
Why is your camera on? I want to see these antics.
Yeah, I could have sworn I heard him yell Sega, but
Oh man.
He's really excited. Henry, no. He actually kicked my foot, which turned off the webcam. That's what's funny.
Oh man.
Wait, your foot is the webcam? So how you doing, Jared?
Frosted the varnish on my Sentinels, which Jesse helped me fix.
See, the funny thing is that fix, I've never tried it before myself.
Yeah.
But I've read about it. And I was like, if it's frosted at that point, you can try anything. So yeah, if you use cloth varnish, apparently brings back.
So what'd you use?
The testers, the matte and the gloss.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
I did the lining for the steel parts with panel liner.
Okay.
And the Tamiya stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's perfect. It just needs, that glossy surface to really slide.
It do be like that. Yeah.
And I don't know about where you guys are, but it's like, 60 degrees and rainy here. So I think
it's been pouring down all day.
Yeah. The first batch, I was an idiot and let them dry outside, not thinking about it.
Ooh.
Okay. So were you using what spray were you using? Were you using Tamiya Dull Coat?
No, the testers, the stuff you recommended.
Or that's right. I'm sorry. Yeah, testers Dull Coat. That's crazy, man. I've never had that
Jared.
stuff. I've never had that stuff frost before. This is crazy. That's like the first incident I've ever heard. Not saying that like, oh, it would have never happened, but I'm just saying like
It was extreme conditions.
today's weather was perfect for that to happen, I suppose, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so go ahead, Jason.
I've only ever had the tester's dull coat frost on me once, and it was enough to switch over to oh shit, a different kind. I forget what it is now.
Yeah, when you got something that frosts, you never want to use it again.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
9 times
just suspicious of it now.
It was. You just let it dry and went over it with the gloss, and it was fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So Brian wants to know if there's any ideas or thoughts on what special units or rules the Dark Mech might be able to see in Book 10, which maybe here.
So
well, we do know that they have like, I mean, one of the big things from Mechanicum to me was the like abominable
intelligent
servitors. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like the servitors that were clearly fused with dark technology, where they were like, I guess
servitors.
Yeah, exactly. Or you know what I'd like to see is the wild servitors, where they're like, oh shit, we just got a bunch of wild servitors out in the wastes of Mars, and we gotta go hunt them down.
Catch them.
Yeah, no, exactly. They're like, oh, they're just biting the power cables. We got to go take down those wild rats.
So the cyber hybrid carnivora.
Yeah.
This is something I have no idea how they would portray it on the tabletop, but I feel like the thing you consistently see with Dark Mech is they do stuff that you shouldn't be able to do because it's just unfair.
Right.
Like in Titan Death, when they use the was it like solar radiation or something to completely blind like 50 loyalist Titans.
I mean, it was one sun. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just one star.
Or in Solar War, when 8,000 Dark Mech ships are attacking Mars, and they shoot like some kind of beam into the loyalist fleet, and it just goes straight through void shields and just going.
Dude, the way it was described, it described it. Did you ever read? I'm sure you did. Ender's Game.
Yeah.
And there was the what was it? The doctor or whatever they called the special weapon ship that they sent out there, where when they were developing it, they couldn't test it on Earth for fear of demolishing Earth. But the idea of the technology was it would bounce from atom to atom to atom, or and just completely dematerialize an entire planet like that. That's exactly what that weapon that the Dark Mech was using reminded me of, like a chain lightning that could just penetrate void shields and wouldn't stop once it got going. If you were too close, you're gonna get chain lightning. You're dead in the water. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah. I want stuff like that. That's so off the wall that there's like no way you could prepare for it. It just breaks the laws of physics and reality, like on a fundamental level.
Already more so than Mech already does, because I feel like they're already bending a lot of rules on what you should be able to get away with their AI that isn't technically AI because of certain restrictions that are built in. When so like, are we thinking models in, or are we thinking rules more so than something?
I mean, definitely want models.
I know one thing I really want to see. Have you guys read The Crimson King?
I have not, sir. No.
It's been a while.
It's pretty great. It's like the direct follow-up to Thousand Suns. And the Dark Mechanicum have figured out how to make Thalax, but instead of using like a brain and a spinal cord, they just stuff a demon into the body.
Oh, dude, what?
Yeah, they're called yokai.
That's sick, dude.
And they have you remember in Halo, the elites have like the little energy swords? Yeah, so the demonic Thalax have like 2 little energy swords instead of like a lightning gun.
Oh man, that would be pretty sick, dude.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. Were they like changed at all, like physically, where they kind of look like demon engines, where biomechanical elements were blended into the machine, or could you not tell that there was a demon in it other than if you'd already known?
So you could definitely tell because they weren't they were made of like a different substance instead of just like, ceramite and alloys and whatnot. They were like white ceramics, and they had like demon binding runes like inscribed like on a ton of the visible surface area.
Yeah.
It sounded pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That definitely would be something that's pretty cool, right? Like an Ursarax. No, is it the Ursarax or the melee Thalax we currently have?
Yeah, or
Like another version of them, but for dark mech only. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty cool.
That would pretty great. Just the novelty of having a decent unit that's exclusive to traders.
Speaking of novelty, Mr. Baldwick on Twitch is speculating how you would make rules for scrap code. Maybe psychic phase stuff.
So I think I'm thinking psychic phage or cyberthurgy. It would be used in the same way cyberthurgy is to just be targeted against enemies only. Because you can cyberthurgy currently. You can cyberthurgy your stuff and the enemy stuff as well. But this, I think, scrap code would only be the enemies, and it would be super detrimental to where it would be, Malefica almost all the time, or something similar, right?
So
go ahead.
I think you could also take it in another direction of, some of the depictions are like system wide. All the defenses on Calth just got infected with scrap code, stuff like that.
Right.
Bring a specific character that confers that ability, and it does some X to your opponent.
Okay. So like could mess up their reserves or something like that. Maybe something as simple as that.
That'd be a good one.
Template scatter more.
Yeah. I mean, it could just be like maybe. What if it ended up just being like a list of debuffs you could bring instead of like a Rite of War or a Tecmata or something like that, right? You could just then you could pick like 3 debuffs that you could inflict, right? So that'd be cool. Another idea would be, all right, now here this is going to be crazy because it's going to bring in a lot of complications to the game we currently have. But I think it'd be really badass. Okay, so what we do is we bring back the way the AI used to be in I think it was Rogue Trader when you had the Castellax that had AI. And they had to follow specific flow charts and or charts, right? To where like if you wanted to move, you had to issue this order, and then you could issue another order to the robot, and it had to perform these tasks in subsequent orders that you've issued them, right?
Sounds like the dark mech penalty to me.
And yeah, exactly. But you would have to bring that back and make only loyalists use or all mech use that. And then dark mech scrap code would be you could alter the AI pattern or inject another order into it that alters the entire pattern. So that would be ideal if you wanted to actually have scrap code. You'd have to have the whole like logic gating of the old way we used to have Castellax work. You know what I mean?
That'd be a lot.
Which would be super inconvenient, I think, for everybody.
You are correct. But it'd be fun.
Should there be a shame of the Legion Rite of War in addition to a pride of the Legion Rite of War?
That actually comes from the word bearers.
Yeah. I mean, it does sound like a parody, right? But a shame of the Legion, you could definitely have. I know for the 10th Legion, it would just be a bunch of immortals.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. With Imperial Fist, it would be your Librarius.
Yeah. You just have a whole army of librarians, but they have to not wear armor and they have to stay in their barracks the whole game. They can't
you
out.
auto lose because you don't get to use them, but you pay the points for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
With
right up until Dorn, needs them for something.
Yeah, Solar War.
Yeah, so like at turn 5 is when you can start using your librarians. Then finally, that makes sense to me.
You know what I'd like to see in like a book, I guess 11 or something, where we finally start seeing the mortal armies that go alongside the legions,
like in tandem, right?
Yeah,
we already kind of have a taste of that.
Like we have the Spire Guard for the Thousand Suns.
Yeah,
we have the Jaegers for the Dark Angels. Well, I guess they're not really necessarily the Legion goes with, but things like that.
They have strong bonds with the Legion, right?
Yeah.
So we already have there's already a precedent for that, and that's with the Ultramarines Rite of War, where it's their military police, which are all Ultramarine dropouts. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to remember that is what's the name of that rite of war?
Vigil
operati.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, there's secret police that just go around and kill them and having Gestapo.
If we're going to talk rules, I might as well have the rule book in front of me.
I suppose.
I guess.
So,
Good call.
I mean, Austin and I have discussed this at length that we need more militia provenances.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
100%.
it'd be cool to see some, like, going forward. I want to see a loyalist version of the Army of Dark Compliance. And weren't they in book 9? Jesse, help me out with this. I'm sure you've seen this more than me. Maybe. There were mentions of doing like a Crusade era detachment. That's like, a bit of, a Space Marines, mech, militia, all kind of in one army that represents a Crusade detachment.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't think I recognize that.
I couldn't find where I read that, but I remember
a fever dream and dream sometime.
Yeah, it was a fever dream fantasy. No, somebody was talking about it as possible content for book 9. I think it'd be cool as hell.
No, I agree. That would be amazing if you could do it. I still personally think that what we need is era games for this. I think the game should be divided up into era like most other historicals are, where you have early, mid, and late war, right? And we've talked about this, where early could be Crusade. Mid-war could be, you're out and about in the heresy, and then late war could be the Siege of Terra.
Yeah.
And, you'd have certain units only for a certain period in that time. And I think a Crusade detachment would be great. And you could then, use that to like tie in with Xenos being only early war. You know what I mean? Where it's Crusade level. Or, I don't know. I mean, obviously things advance throughout the war with different technology and rights of war and that kind of stuff. So it just feels weird to come out and play an Esteban 3 game where, you've got, I don't know. I feel like it needs something, dude. I think, I don't know. Currently, the way we have it, where we've got the fan-made Centurion mode, I think that's good, right?
Yeah.
It kind of breaks it down a little bit more to early war before the escalation started to happen where everybody was having a, escalate war.
Yeah. I still remember my first game with you guys. I brought my Betrayal at Calth set. I was like, all right. And then I just got steamrolled by all the tanks and armor. Like,
and you're like, this war's been raging for a while, and I just joined a war that's been in escalation for a couple of years now. So,
Jesse, I still feel a little bad for our first game.
Oh, it's fine. Quick rapid fire succession. Brian asked, can we get Cult Horde back instead of like 150 zombies in a box somewhere? Cult Horde's still around. It didn't go anywhere. You just got to build it up. He also says, do you think we could see another race introduced, such as orcs or blank? I think they specifically said, no, this is not about.
Yeah. We heard, what's his name, Anuj?
Yeah.
Yeah, he specifically said this is not about anybody except humans. This is our civil war. So, and that's the whole point of it. And that's why that's why he said they will never do like Xeno Titans in Adeptus Titanicus or aliens in Horus Heresy 28 mil.
Yeah. Let's see. Ethan commented that in his massive collection of 40K and 30K, he does not own a single Psyker. I'll be honest.
Oh my God. Well,
I
he
have
does.
Psychers ready to go, but I've not used them before. And honestly, at this point, I think it'd be kind of fun to use.
I mean, Tylos Rubio. Okay.
Yeah.
I won.
Mr. Ball, well, a good question. He says he's brand spanking new to the Horus Heresy tabletop, but not the lore. Is there anything you guys wished you knew when you were getting stuck in?
Yeah, literally everything I know about Iron Hands now. I wish I knew that before I did like phase 1 of my Iron Hands and stuff like that. Having come back to Iron Hands probably three times, knowing the lore that I know now, is I'm able to build a much stronger foundation for the army and have much more, I guess, a deeper connection to it because of that. Like you feel a bond with an army when there's a narrative that you enjoy and you like about it. But yeah, phase 1, I'm just like, let me get fucking Ferrus Manus in here, and I'll get a Spartan, and I'll get a bunch of dudes, and I'll just run it like, try to win and smash. And it's like, no, after you've read the lore and you feel like, No, Ferris was not smart. He was not good. I don't like Ferris, and you know what? I don't like Iron Fathers either, man. I wish they're all terrible. Like the only good ones are the line dogs that all die. So I don't know, man. But yeah, I wish I knew everything about the fluff that I do now.
With that, if to whoever that posted that, if you pick a legion, you pick an army, whatever it is, get like every single work that involves that army, and get if Imperial Fists, read Praetorian of Dorne, read Crimson Fists, read the Siege of Terra series because they're in all of them, and it gives you such a better idea of what you want your force to look like. I've been doing Fists since 2015, and it's evolved so much since then. Just like Will was saying, it changes over time for what you want. I started out like a Stone Gauntlet player, and now I'm moving more towards fortifications and Castellum type stuff, just because of the Siege of Terra series, and that's the type of events I want to run in the future.
Still can't wait to read Saturnine.
I could just spoil everything for everyone.
Oh,
here.
Not yet.
Don't you do it.
There's literally a scene where Dorn brings back Toys R Us. He's like, we need this on Terra right now for morale, so we're going to reopen Toys R Us. Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil it like that. Sorry, guys.
See, to answer Mr. Baldwick, is there anything you wish I knew when I got stuck in? I wish I knew how to build lists better before I just bought a whole ton of shit. Realized it doesn't really work how I want to play the game.
But a lot of that is
no, that's dead true, dude.
Playing games and losing.
Yeah.
Or seeing what works and what doesn't work, or maybe this works, but I'm kind of sick of it.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, there's a lot of new data out there
in horror therapy, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the rule books when I bought my models the first time.
I actually did.
And I bought 10 tactical support Marines with roto cannons because they looked super awesome.
I remember that.
And then I was like, wait, these things? That's all they do? And I was like really let down. And I was like, well, I already paid the money for them and built them and painted them. So I guess they're in the army forever now. And, you try to work them in. You're like, I cross your fingers and you're like, please, God, let me play against a militia player so these things can finally see some action. But never happens.
Mark Henry asks, as a demon player and previous mech player, I noticed I start to glaze over when I start talking special rules. Any advice on how to brief an opponent without having information overload, or just general advice on how a demon player can prep or bring to the table to reduce frustration overall? Go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Yeah.
So, as a current Mechanicum player, I always start out by asking the other person, like, what's your experience with Mechanicum? And I get a couple of ranges of responses from like, oh no, I play Mechanicum too, I know what's up, to like, I have no idea, I've never seen them before. So to that person, instead of listing out
me every time,
like every single rule, because again, I start to glaze over and they're never going to remember them all. I tell them, okay, so here are a couple big ones, like that's a Castellax, that's a Thalax. If at any point you have any questions, feel free to stop me, because playing Mechanicum, occasionally it's going to sound like I'm making up rules in response to something you're telling me. Like, and I remember the exact moment I started doing this. I was playing a dude who had a whole bunch of Raven Guard and Land Speeders, and I was shooting at them with Thalax, photon thrusters. And he was like, all right, I'm going to jink. And I was like, all right, Thalax give -2 to cover saves anyway, and they have Tank Hunter. And he looked just like so distraught, and I felt so bad because it literally sounded like I was making up a rule on the spot to counterbalance like him saying I'm gonna jink. And even though I like called the rule book out and showed it to him, it still felt bad on my end. So I think asking your opponent first, because you never know, you might hit like another demon player and they're like, oh no, I do that, that's yeah, I get all the emanations and the behemoths and whatever. I don't know. It's gobbledygook to me. I play Mechanicum. But it's always good to check with the opponent and outline the big things they're worried about first. And then I think just go from there.
So
yeah, I would agree definitely. I've stolen Jason's line because I've had to do the same thing.
you could
Since
also
starting,
go
since starting Mac. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jared.
Austin route of having a book published with all of your fluff and information and unit profiles and extra rules in it, and just handy, and you could just hand it to your opponent. Because, I mean, that's
Austin's done it.
Because who doesn't love reading a full book during a game?
Right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I
But
want to
the
do is
fact
read
is-
a novella.
The fact is, it is a brilliant idea because while you're playing and he's moving units, you can be like, what the fuck is that creature? And I was like, all right, it's got big hands. So I open up a page and I start flipping through it until I see a little alien creature with big hands. And I was like, oh, so that's what that is. And here's all the rules it's got for it. Absolutely genius work on Austin's side. Like really.
Yeah.
I mean, at first it is daunting because he hands you a book and you're like, I don't have time to read this. But then if you just, reference it as you go through and you're like, okay, so that little creature that has tentacle face, it does this. And that little creature that looks like this, he's got pictures that completely depict what it is you're looking at and then tells you exactly what it all does.
Yeah,
Explains it in good detail. I like
wish he
it.
was here to show it, but I watched him and he went all out. Like he bound the book himself. He sewed the.
I think it was like a leather too. It's definitely
nuts.
a quality book. Yeah. And I remember we were playing War on the Webway, and he handed me that, and I was like, holy shit, I did not come prepared, man. Like the level that you put in, here's just 3 pages of rules I printed off if you want to look at my list. And it just was there was completely I felt like garbage after that. I was like, I gotta step my list game up, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. I do my best. Honestly, mech is something I really worry about. I feel like there's so many people out there that are just like, no, mech are broken. I imagine it's what custodian players feel like a lot. It's like, no, they're broken.
Yeah.
I'm not going to actually learn the rules, but I know they're broken.
Yeah, when I had like fucking 6 custode sentinels with my little not Valdor, but a shield captain, and you came up with Ursarex, and you're like, I'm just gonna eat these guys for breakfast. And I was like, well, I'm gonna fucking stab you before you get a chance. And I didn't. And then you did eat me for breakfast, and I was like, oh, these guys are fucking broken. Immediately that's my reaction, This is fucking garbage. I can't believe this shit.
I'm playing custodians. Why am I not winning?
Yeah, exactly.
I was lied to.
I was told this was an auto win. What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
Has anybody seen Custodians since the book 8 came out?
Oh yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the custodian group, so I see them all the time. Now that said, oh god, they are more prevalent in 8th Ed still.
Sure,
I mean, they still do really well in 8th Ed, but with all the psychic awakening stuff, they're becoming less OP.
Are there psychic custodies? Like, I don't know how psychic awakening works. Hi, Garrett.
No, psychic awakening. It doesn't mean that everybody's getting psychers. It just means that everybody's getting updated rules to bring them all on like the same playing field. And then they just roll it out through the psychic awakening because a lot of the galaxy is now having a psychic awakening. But really, it's just a way for them to progress a lot of narrative. Like, think about the narrative that they progressed when they moved into 8th and they went M42.
Mm-hmm.
This psychic awakening is another leap in that direction.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's a big deal.
So I mean, we remember at M42, Cadia fell and Cadia exploded and all that stuff, and then the Primaris project was launched and Gilliman came back. That's kind of where we're at now. Where obviously we haven't seen any new Primarchs, but still a lot of shit is happening that is progressing the narrative forward.
So curious to see. I wonder if they planned for 9th edition this year. Because summertime, usually for GW, is when they'd have their major release of the year.
Oh, you're right. And who was it? Was it Austin who was talking about them seeming like they were having a little bit something else under their sleeve? But I don't think they would have released 9th in tandem with Psychic Awakening, personally.
Nah, it'd be too much one on top of the other.
Yeah. I think they would wait until Psychic Awakening is complete.
Like they did the end times for.
That's I mean, there is a precedence for it.
But isn't there only 2 or 3 books left in Psychic Awakening?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. So maybe releasing ninth after that, right?
Yeah.
So the way GW is doing like the mainline games now is to where they have 2 major updates a year, where it's like a game update and then an FAQ. I don't know exactly, but I know they get, and then there's like the General's Handbook in between there, and then to where the game honestly doesn't need a new edition. It just needs to, they just constantly keep refreshing it every quarter, it seems. But then like second edition for Age of Sigmar happened. And I mean, look how long it took them to go to second edition for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Like 5
true.
years.
Was it 5 years?
Something like that, man. Yeah.
Doesn't feel that long ago. It really doesn't.
Maybe 4
It
years.
could be. No, you're right. Maybe 4. 4 or 5.
But you know, and then those edition changes weren't huge. Like you started to see words like "holy" within and that kind of stuff. But you know, we'll see.
Even may call it Little Kid Warhammer, but enjoy it if you like it.
Yeah, man, Warhammer's Warhammer, dude. If you're having fun with it, in the end, it's all toys. So even Big Boy Warhammer is still playing with toys.
And
It's just a price tag attached to it that makes it the Big Boy Warhammer. You know what I mean?
That's right. I like to make a controversial statement.
You're wrong.
Immediately, yeah.
But so
Immediate controversy.
The whole thing with what is it? That the Horse Heresy 3D video thing that the guy made. I'm sounding really professional right now. This is not my first beer, I should say.
You're talking about Death of Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the start said, for the true Warhammer people. And then he put in a reply video mentioning about, I'm paraphrasing. I feel bad because I really should be using quotes if I'm doing stuff like this. But mentioning that, how.
Anyways, he said he fucking hates babies.
Watered down. It's for kids now. It's not the same grim dark as it used to be. Grim dark used to mean something. Guess what? I liked his video. It was extremely impressive. I thought it was cool. But guess what? I like all the other stuff too. From his stuff to Sarah Kaiser's artwork, I like it all. I enjoy every aspect of it.
Yeah, honestly, dude. I mean, if it's Warhammer, I'm going to buy into it.
Yeah, you don't have to be on either side. You can enjoy both of it. Don't worry, guys. You can enjoy both. It's crazy, but you can. You don't have to pick a side. It's great.
I'm not going to lie. As cool as Death of Hope was, I really liked the final 5th part of Astartes better.
Dude, the fact that was the final part of it broke my heart. Because there were
really
how the fuck are you gonna do that and have so many questions now that need to be answered? And the artist is just like, we're moving on to other chapters, y'all.
It's like, no, finish this chapter. Give me an epilogue.
And they're like, he's like, nah, we're good. Thanks for being a Patreon. We're moving on to another chapter.
Moving on.
He's like, I got 1,000 other chapters to do, guys. Did you see how long it took just to do these 5? And you're like, all right, no, you're right. Let's see what else you got. Because
I want to say, the Astartes from Astartes feel more like I'm not going to say realistic because they're supermen in space.
Yeah.
But they feel more like how I would imagine an Astartes to operate. Like every movement they have is like snappy and like superhuman, speed, confidence.
So what it is it's motion it's mocapped with an actual in scale human. That's why all their maneuvers are as if they are just regular ass humans that are bulked up to the 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and the way that they operate, moving down the halls, clearing doors out, they don't do it like how a human would, where they're like tying corners or anything like that, because they know they're walking tanks. So they go in, they stand right in the fatal funnel in the doorway and just rack off rounds from their bolters. And then he doesn't even finish clearing the room, and he just chucks a frag grenade in there.
That's right.
And then walks off, letting it detonate and kill anybody else who was unfortunate enough to not be detonated by bolter rounds. And it's just exactly how you would imagine super soldiers in the future to be, because the guy just puts so much work into the small details of the VFX. For example, there's no clipping in the armor.
Mhm.
Holy shit, dude. That's insane to go through that much detail to have no clipping in armor, where nowadays you see a lot of clipping all the time in most amateur stuff. Like I said, mocap is great. When you look at the armor, it has actual like imperfections on it, where you look at something like Ultramarine and it was all made of plastic. Like all the all the CGI was made of plastic, super smooth and beautiful. These guys have like smudges and fingerprints on their armor and stuff like that. Like that's the minute details that make this as great as it is. And I think
two things though.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry. Two things though. First off, Ultramarines, that movie that was allegedly penned by Dan Abnett, it had Sean Pertwee, and that's something nobody else can. But the second thing that I liked Death of Hope. I did a whole bunch, but it really puts me off because everybody looks like they're on Synthol. And they've got like those giant like balloon like pecs and like massive like ridiculous biceps and stuff, and it looks like a bunch of steroided up South Beach dudes, and that's not how.
So I gotta say I'm a little disappointed that you mentioned Sean Pertwee before you mentioned Mr. John Hurt.
Oh,
all right.
I'm just saying.
All right. Give me a little bit of a break. I watched Dog Soldiers like last night, so Sean Pertwee's a little more front and center in the mind.
Yep. Back to Ethan on YouTube asked, does anyone else live in fear that when BFG is hopefully re-released, that the new models will be on a different scale than existing BFG models? It would just bother me from an aesthetic standpoint.
So I definitely think they're going to do that. So you have to buy new models.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
But
yeah. Bigger models
doesn't matter.
Right. So scale-wise, it would gameplay-wise, it shouldn't matter.
No.
But I think what you're going to do is you're going to get some much better detail models like we have with the current AT. I mean, look at the current AT Warhound compared to if they attempted to do the Warhound in the old scale. I mean, we're just able to get such a larger canvas to work with. You know what I mean? And I think that's all that would really change is the canvas would change. You get like finer detail ships and that kind of stuff. But the gameplay, everybody knows the pin is an imaginary pin. It's light years apart. Well, not light years, obviously.
Here's also the same thing, like with Aeronautica. The scales are different. You can still play with the same models. And will they look different? Yes. But if there's an army, if there's a squadron that you're really proud of painting, you can still put it on the table and play it with other people in the new game. And that's actually still pretty cool. Will it look different? Yes, but you can still enjoy that.
Yeah. Aeronautica, man.
I still have not played any of it.
I have not dipped my toes into it, but I tell you what, I really want to with those miniatures, but I just keep avoiding it because I'm still trying to, not have a backlog. But
yeah,
Aeronautica's on the table for sure. Especially when I saw that they had the Lightnings and the Valkyries and shit. I was like, oh, baby, yeah. Because if you know me, the Lightning is probably my favorite aircraft in the entire game. I've had mine since my first inception of Iron Hands, and it is the only model I have never sold or considered really selling. I've joked about it, obviously, because people are always like, man, you get a lot of miles out of that Lightning. And yeah, I've used it in my Mechanicum. I've used it in my Iron Hands. In fact, the reason that my Mechanicum are indentured to Iron Hands is so I didn't have to get another Lightning or repaint the current Lightning. That's my frugalness and laziness all in one.
Yep. Ethan says he knows the scale doesn't matter, but he's a sucker for classic models. A massive piece of metal on a flying base that is a Retribution class battleship. Big heavy models, big metal models. Yeah, those are fun. They're nice. Just holding.
Dude, when you pick up a metal model, you're like, oh, this is a fucking relic for sure.
Yeah. My Solar Auxilia Lord Marshal is oh gosh, what's his name? It's not Hector Rex. Inquisitor Kodiaz.
Oh yeah.
And he's solid metal, and he weighs more than the Ogren bodyguard he hangs out with.
Nice.
Who is, of course, resin. It's pretty funny.
Brian asks, any tips for starting salamanders? Thinking Covenant of Fire and lots of dreads and tanks. Lots and dreads and tanks are very fun. I've never played salamanders, and honestly, I've never really looked at them before because any green armor, I usually do a 40k Dark Angels. But at the same time, they do look cool when they're out in the field.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with dreads and tanks, basically.
Yeah, you know, and you're going to need troops to capture. So, I mean, honestly, if anybody ever asks for tips on armor, I always will recommend the same thing, you know, Jesse will recommend, and that is 1 HQ and 2 troops. So I'd say if you want to start with salamanders, man, start there because you can build off of that very easily. And check out the new contrast paints. There's some really good greens out there that would make painting salamanders super easy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They also just did I say just did, it was like 6 months ago, the new non-contrast paints that are specifically like, you know, Vulcan green, and they're specifically tooled to salamanders. They look great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yep. Mr. Baldwick asks, with the Ordo Sinister Titans drop for Titanicus, what do you think Demon Engines and Demon Titans will bring?
Oh man, I think we're going to get some very cool stuff. I mean, we know that in Titan Death, was that the book? Yeah.
Yeah.
We already had, you know, demon bound engines and that kind of stuff that were already showing like signs of demonic infusion. So hopefully we'll get like upgrade sprues, we'll get spikes coming out of armor plates and stuff like that. Rules wise though, I have no idea, man. Just open to anything, right?
I think there should be something that like ups the overall strength of like the melee weapons. Like, you know, it sticks out to me is when the demon engine is fighting the Legio Astorum warlord, and the two of them are just kind of in a contest of strength with their power claws.
Yes.
And the demon engine just, you know, powers through and guts them. Yeah, there should be something that sets them above and beyond in, you know, melee range.
I would say that yes for a corn-based one, right? I don't know. If we start talking like Nurgle demon engines and that kind of stuff, what are we thinking? Like,
I doubt we'll get specific provenances or specific, so? You know,
like
I doubt it.
More tough or able to regenerate hull points and that kind of stuff. I don't know.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Is some sort of, you know, some kind of command check or something. You get D3 hull points or some crazy like that back.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Kara.
Stratagems, Kara. But yeah, definitely stratagems is what I think we'll see them be played as, and then Legios. I mean, that's another thing, right? Like AT has so many ways to introduce a certain aspect of a rule into a game that really leaves, you know, a lot of stuff.
Mm.
There we go. Trying to get us both in the camera.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Cool.
Jason wins. He has a cat.
Hi, Kara.
Oh,
hi,
look at that baby. Solaria still is not cool with like being held. She treats her environment as if she's a guest still. She doesn't sit on the couch. She doesn't lay down in the bed. She lays in her bed, and then she'll like, you know, lay on the floor and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, you can hang out with me, you know that, right? And she's like, no, I know, but I just don't want to. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Walk all over your place.
James says, cheers for the updated BFH Rules Guys 10 out of 10. Austin and Steven both are not here, and they did the vast majority of everything. But yeah, they're super proud of it, and we're really, really excited to see the positive feedback that we've gotten from that. From that document. So thank you very much.
Tiny bit. I did the mechanic rules, but that's about it.
Yeah, and they're coming. They'll get their own red book probably. Who's Cindy Huggins? How would one justify bringing a chaplain to 1,000 Suns list?
Just do it because it's awesome.
They all had chaplains.
Morale officers, yeah.
And on another note, it's bad manners to do so.
No. I mean, you can.
No. Why would it be bad manners?
They're fine.
That's silly. Which psychic discipline would you go with, though? That's the kicker.
He doesn't know.
Which one would you go with then, Jason?
Biomancy, because my 1,000 Suns are all
Assholes.
Yeah,
You
assholes.
Some
Too.
answer. Come on.
But yeah, all of my 1,000 Suns are Biomancy because they're all Pavoni.
There you go. Have you guys? This phone is killing me.
We can see that.
He doesn't remember the Kind Shield one. That's Pavoni, isn't it?
That is Raptora.
Raptora. Oh, okay.
Does the Crozius grant an invul?
No.
It does not. It is just
Did
a
it
power
grant
weapon.
an invul in 40k? Is that what I'm thinking of it?
No.
It's a different. It's the Rosarius.
Oh,
It's
the
basically like a
Rosarius.
Iron
Okay.
Halo.
Gotcha.
Different word here.
Okay.
Says, have
Yeah.
you guys? Mr. Baldwin asks on Twitch, have you ever thought about doing bat reps?
Yes.
Great idea, and we should absolutely do
Yeah,
it.
it's.
I can tell you that Jesse and I did one,
Look,
and I put it up on my Instagram.
we might
and-
be doing some in the future.
Oh, look at that!
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Like some
We
video,
had plans, and
Yeah,
then
like some video-
life happens.
some video battle reports potentially in the future. It's just a.
I know the one that I did on my Instagram was very popular. A lot of
Mhm.
people like
Mhm.
that.
Hmm. I remember that.
So pictures, yeah, easy, a lot easier. Video ones, they take up a lot of time, and I do a lot of the recording on the podcast and the video or the audio editing. So it's kind of a balance of
He's
what else do I
swamped.
got? Yeah, what else do I have to do in my life?
Yeah.
Garner Tree Rose says Raptora is the one with the Kind Shields. But I could be
Correct.
wrong. Okay, they are Raptora. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting slow on these. Cindy says all my dudes are Raptora in the list, or at least the assault ones are. Wanted to make them a hard to kill death ball. Brian says the bat rep with Will was a lot of fun. So there you
Thank
go.
you, Brian. Thank you.
Positive feedback.
Yeah, and I liked it because I was like doing it live, obviously. So people were like, "Oh man, cannot wait to see the update. I can't wait to see what that Morax does." And it's like, "Oh, guys, Morax died. Sorry. Let's see what happens next turn. Sorry, I let you down."
But man, we played, and it was like, what? Almost after 10 p.m. By the time
Yeah.
we finished up, we realized,
Yeah.
whoa, this took a lot of time.
Which is crazy because the way I did it, I just did 6 pictures, 3 from each side after every game turn, and yet still trying to get shots posted up, keep that live. It does take additional time that you have to plan into the game.
Wait,
Kind of going with a mindset of getting ready to do it before
you
you
guys
do
did
it.
a live bat rep, like as it was going on?
Yeah.
Sort of with pictures, and then after every round, Will would send them out.
Yeah, maybe we can do something like this on the weekend.
And Will, people can follow you on Forge Breaker Painting on Instagram.
Yeah, and those those stories are still up there, so you can still see all those. We did like the army layout, no like lists, descriptions, or anything. I mean, if you know what you're looking at, you know what you're looking at, kind of thing. But yeah, it was great because, excuse me, you can just keep up with it and be like, oh man, Mechanicum had a strong start, and then by the end of it, you're like, oh no, they did not have as much strong stuff. Because I remember I had my Morax, and by this time, Jesse had already learned what they're capable of, and he immobilized one immediately, like right out the gate. It walked out 6 inches from cover, and he's like, nah, not today, son, and just boop, and 24-inch weapons, and all he had to do was stay 25 inches away.
Yeah.
He was
I learned my
untouchable.
lesson from the first game.
Right away.
Never putting armor within 2
Yeah.
feet of those things.
And
Ever
then
again.
it wasn't until the very end that I realized that the what is it? The Archmagos that was standing next to him the entire game has Battlesmith built in. So even if you take
Yeah.
the conversion beamer, you still have Battlesmith, and I could have repaired the
Oh.
immobile result. And it wasn't until the end of the game that I was like, motherfucker.
I didn't know that, so now we know. I got to
Yeah.
kill him faster.
The only
Apparently.
downside is you have to trade in your shooting attempt.
Yes, yeah.
But if you don't,
And that Magos, dude.
again.
Yeah, that Magos is a big contender because he's got the conversion beamer that is
Mhm.
armor bane. So
Yeah.
he's like my number one tank killer.
Deuce one Imperator or Deuce Imperator asked, did he find the live chat? He was on YouTube, and we
He
need to
did
do this
indeed.
later, not during kids' bedtime. Sorry, we don't know how late we're going to do this though. We might be doing this till midnight, hopefully.
My kid's still up.
Also,
Sorry.
when do kids go to bed here?
And as far as
Well, Pat's usually in bed by 7:30.
What?
Now she'll lay in bed and read her book or whatever, but she's in her bedroom laying down by 7:30, and she'll usually fall asleep at around 8:00.
See, Lau and I think we're terrible parents because Henry doesn't go to bed till like 9 or 9:30, but I think it's just because I get off at 7:00. So
Oh, dude, yeah. If you guys put him to bed
Yeah.
at 7, you'd never see your child.
exactly,
So,
exactly.
But
Yeah.
if you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope, because I was like, yeah, why the hell not?
yeah,
you
just
can,
for the one guy out there
That
who's
was
using
Periscope.
we'll see it
Periscope.
all, and we'll clean it up.
Mr.
Cindy,
Baldwin.
like who Cindy Huggins says, this is the live chat. YouTube and Facebook comments were still popping up from them. Answer, you're good.
Dude, where the heck are you, Mr. Baldwick? It's 20 after midnight.
Probably England somewhere.
Maybe.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait, I thought
Deuce and
England-
Brad has the 1-year-old putting down. Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
God be with you.
and 1-year-old. It probably could be any time they wake up.
But yeah, so like, and the other reason we have to put Pat to bed so early is because we get up so early. We're up at 5. We got to be to
Oh,
work at
yeah.
6. So she needs to be able to wake up at that time and still be a functioning member of society, as as much as a 5-year-old can be a functioning member, I guess.
Yeah, why isn't she paying her taxes?
Yeah.
I'm paying my taxes. Come on, she can do it too. And hey,
Hey, Will, she made you $500 this year, so you need to stop your complaining.
Did she? What?
wait, that's how it works. You have
What?
kids.
Oh,
and you get $500.
Oh,
The stimulus.
no, that all went to Ashley, my man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even get one.
Thanks for listening
Sorry,
to us
Carol.
in Scotland, Mr. Baldwin.
Yeah, Scotland is awesome. I
Yeah,
haven't been there.
it
I
is.
want to go there.
I've never been there, but Jared's been there.
it's great. It's really, really, really pretty.
Okay, now, Mr. Baldwick, I need to ask you a question. Is haggis something you actually eat, or do just tourists think you eat it?
People actually eat it. I can 100% confirm.
I
One
know my
second.
mom likes it,
I'm gonna,
but
I'm gonna do this real quick here. So you're not, talking right behind all the mechanical stuff. There we
So
go.
people can see your face.
There we go.
wow, that's absolutely needed if people see my nose. There we go. Haggis is nice. Huh. Jared ate. Yeah.
What's is it
I don't
Scandinavian
consider
or
it normal.
Norwegian where they make cheese in a stomach of an animal and wait until it starts getting maggots and stuff, and
That's
then they
cheese.
eat it?
That is
Yeah.
Sardinia.
American cheese. What are you talking
Sardinia, or is that
Yes.
what it's called?
No,
yeah.
just American
Uh,
cheese nuggets won't eat that.
Yeah, it's like illegal.
It's illegal.
In a lot of places, it's illegal.
Isn't it fermented
it's
where it
don't.
gets you hammered too?
I mean,
don't
like
know.
everything's fermented cheese-wise.
Up
but-
there.
Everything
yeah.
good is fermented. Let's
I
say
mean-
that.
But yeah. Oh,
Yes.
what was it?
So-
I was watching Call Me
Nothing
Kevin on YouTube, and he was looking up Irish news, and one of the
Okay.
broadcasts was like of a pork festival or something like that. There was an Irish farmer eating raw pork sausage, just like chomping it down, dude. And what's crazy is that's not the first time I've seen a person eat raw sausage. And
Are
the
you
other
talking about
person I
raw
saw
or-
did that. Yeah, no, raw, just the ground up meat parts in the little sack thing or intestine, whatever it is, just chomping down on it. And like I said, it wasn't the
the
first
tab.
time I saw it. The other place was in America. The man was just like grabbing sausages. He was like grinding it, chomping down on it.
I mean,
What-
I gotta
What
say,
is this culture of
seen it
eating
before,
raw
too.
sausage?
Guys, we need some Warhammer questions quick, please.
yes, please.
Please throw them up there. We'll do any of them.
Let's see, what kind of sausage do Space Marines eat? Any.
No, nutrient paste. I
Nutrient paste shoved inside a pig
yeah,
intestine.
good.
think. Yeah. What you
It's still
telling me
got the
they have
natural
pigs?
casing, so it gets that nice crisp.
They got
But
pigs.
like Fulgrim and the Third Legion, before they go to a battle, they already eat their victory food.
Ladies and gentlemen, Austin's here.
Ooh.
Hey.
Mhm.
Kippy, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was finishing building the Kitty Emporium.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Mr. Baldwick has a question. Favorite black books? He can't decide which order to get them in.
6.
Hmm.
6.
6 is
Yeah,
good.
dude.
6.
6 is
Yeah,
Six
really
and
good.
4.
6.
I guess the question would be which legion is he playing?
Yeah, that would be it, right? Like which
I mean,
obviously whatever legion you like, I would go with that one. But
Yeah.
I think 6 brings so much to the game, like with a lot of minor characters from the Horus Heresy being
Yeah.
introduced was really, really awesome. Yeah,
The,
Imperator, honestly, I would probably agree, man. 4 was awesome. 4 was the first black book I bought.
Yeah, 4 I feel like gets kind of left behind, but it's got all of the awesome like campaign stuff in it.
Mhm.
It was the first introduction to like mortal armies. It was
Yeah.
spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you guys remember when Soul Rocks was released?
Oh yeah.
Man,
I
I just remember being on Forge and I was like, what the fuck are these guys?
that was pretty mind blowing.
They came out of nowhere. And they
Yeah.
were like, hey, you guys like fucking scuba suits and rifles?
and I fucking do.
And I was like, well, I didn't, but now I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got? And they're like, check these boys out. And you're like, oh my God, they're so steampunky. I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my my militia army cosplayed as Solar Auxilia for a little bit until the actual militia book came out. It's fun.
But yeah, the campaigns also that Jason mentioned, those are in there. And if you're interested in doing campaign stuff, man, absolutely, that's where you should begin.
Cindy Huggins on Twitch says, I know the Force of Chaos were more intertwined, cooperative during the heresy, but just when did they start to re-separate, fight each other again?
Oh, during the heresy?
Oh man!
After,
Immediately therein.
yeah, they fled from Terra after they got beat. They go into the Eye, and Jason, it's the War of Wrath that kicks off kind of right after
The Legion Wars, yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the Eye of Heresy.
like, immediately after the Scouring.
they
basically.
had a civil war within a civil war.
Yes.
Oh
Because
yeah.
also, guys, let's make no mistake, the whole Veteran of the Long War thing, the Horus Heresy never really ended, I don't think. Like,
No.
the Civil War is still going on
Yeah,
in M42. You know what I mean? So,
just
Yes.
not as good.
yeah, it's just in a whole new
Yeah, there you
phase.
go. The Legion Wars.
Legion Wars.
The War of Wrath is from Tolkien. I'm
Although
sorry, I'm going
really
through the
they
Lord of the
started-
Rings right now.
They started to re-separate during the Horus Heresy. I mean, you can see it even at the Siege of Terra, where the Emperor's children decide, you know what? Instead of this whole siege thing, we're just gonna like,
Kidnap families.
yeah, we're gonna like rape murder our way across like the rest of Terra. Good luck.
Don't threaten them with a good time, man.
God.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah,
we're gonna
hey,
make
hey,
our
come
own. We're gonna make our own Siege of Terra.
Yeah, with cocaine and unwilling hookers.
Very unwilling.
So, what is it? Is it Heralds of the Siege? Actually, is when they describe them getting pink armor, right? I saw somebody post up a picture recently, I think in Crusade and Heresy on Facebook, and he had Emperor's children, and they were like segmented into pink armor, as if like it's showing them transitioning to being that pink armor. But yeah, I think it was in the Siege of Terra when what's the Third Company Elites dude name?
Which one?
Murray
The guy who runs the
Barosian,
the guy who runs the Third Company.
Eidolon.
Got his head
yeah.
chopped
Oh, yeah.
off. Yeah.
That's that
that
one.
Eidolon runs the. Wait, Eidolon's the first captain.
Right.
Barosian is the Third Company elite guy, but that story you're referencing is Eidolon.
It is, right?
Yeah,
And he's like, hey, we got propane and propane accessories. And they just catch everything on fire and it turns their armor pink. And you're like, sick. That's sick. That's what I needed, guys, was
Oh,
an
that's
origin
yeah.
story of pink armor. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Baldwick asks, are you guys looking forward to Horus making 10-man Warhound packs? Commit war crimes so hard on Terra, the Imperium bans them?
It wasn't even 10-man Warhound packs.
It's like
It was
40.
three engine Warhound packs, just going roughshod all over the place, and everybody was like, "Look, I'll virus bomb a planet if I think there might be somebody who might be conjuring a demon on it. But we got standards, boys. We gotta calm our shit down.
It's ungentlemanly.
Yeah, it's not cricket at all. Not cricket at all. But yes, in a word, yes. I am super excited to get some Legion action. Like there's been a little taste in the Solar War so far, but I want to see, like, you remember when Pert's playing his little Dawn of War game on Siege of Terra, and he's like, "Oh, there's piles of Titans." Like, I want Titans breaching the walls of the Imperial Palace by climbing walls, like piles of Titan corpses. That's what I want.
World War Z style, but with Warhound Titans.
World War
Yeah.
II.
Yeah. Just so.
They're not dinosaurs.
So, yeah, if anyone who's here, Austin is one of the head guys of Battlefleet Heresy PDF.
Yeah, Austin, somebody love you.
You can
very
tell by my epaulets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
much. Whatever that means, man.
these little things right in here.
Oh, Auden.
Was that from Angel Exterminatus?
Yes.
Gotcha.
They turned pink in Angel Exterminatus. I don't remember that.
No, it's
No. That was Siege of Terror.
And they started
playing
doing
a little like war game. That's supposed to be Terra and the siege of the Imperial Palace, and he's got his generals kind of going through it, and they're getting their ass kicked. And he goes through it and he wins, and he says, "Oh, this means I'm better than Dorn."
Yeah,
Oh, you mean
because
the,
everybody knows that that's how board games work.
That's how Kurt thinks, though.
If you win a board game, you are better than Dorn. It's well known.
it's very easy to be better than Dorn.
A board game against yourself, no less. He's playing chess against the computer.
I do like that scene though. Like,
It's a great
It is
scene. It's a great
adorable.
book.
Yeah, Angel Exterminatus is a really, really good book.
one of the top books in the series, I think.
Yeah, even the Iron Hands are very, very interesting. The whole portray of them.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
There's the Gorgon
Yeah.
Terminator who's like kills that noise marine for the first noise marine to die. The noise marine like shoots him with a sound wave and he's deaf and he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't hear that," and he blasts him with the Volkite right in his chest and kills him. And I loved it because he's
Awesome.
like, "Oh, so," because he's got that like that British accent that's like Jason Statham, right? Where he's like, "I'm sorry, I didn't get that," and then just greases the dude in the chest.
I need to listen to the audiobook. That sounds great.
Yeah,
Yeah, I read the book. I haven't listened to the audiobook. I got to pick that up.
yeah. They all the Iron Hands all sound like they're voiced by Jason Statham. I don't know. I love it.
That and the
I don't
World
know why,
Eaters.
but ooh, they're good. Well, the World
Probably
Eaters are
not all
always
Russians.
Russian.
Carcass.
Mr. Baldwick on Twitch asks, "How do you guys think they'll wrap up the last surviving Thunder Warriors?"
So-
Dreams of Unity.
Yeah. If you haven't read that, whoever asked that, definitely pick that up. It's in Heralds of the Siege.
Dreams,
Dreams of Unity is it's good.
Really
It's
good.
good.
Also, Valdor is amazing for some Thunder Warriors
Mhm.
stuff. And then
Oh, we
Outcast
yeah.
Dead, but that has less to do with Thunder Warriors. But there's some good little tidbits in there.
Yeah.
How many Thunder Warriors are in Outcast Dead?
2.
Is it the same guys from Dreams of Unity?
Who is the guy from Dreams of Unity?
I
Well,
don't
I'm asking
remember.
Jared without giving away too many
Oh.
spoilers.
I'd have to look it up again, and I
All
yeah,
I
I
can
don't have that book handy.
all I can remember is his like fake name. Because he goes by Babu Dakal. Eric Tyrannus is the guy from
That's his real name?
that's his
not
like
a
real
fake
name.
name.
Eric Tyrannus.
Oh man,
Eric is a good
a
name.
made-up
Fake one, I think.
But yeah,
But
hold on.
I think the last surviving Thunder Warriors are either going to do something real dumb at the Siege of Terra, and I'm not entirely sure for what side, or we're never going to hear about the guys that I know are alive, like by the heresy. And they'll just be that thing, like whatever happened to them, turn into the 2nd and 11th Legion, or the Horus heresy before all these books came out.
I mean, my guess is
Legion.
they'll die.
I mean, they might. GW likes to not wrap up everything and put neat little bows on it.
Right, because it gives him the opportunity to explore it further, like we've seen
Yeah.
with Valdor. You know what I mean?
Is it later?
So Deus Imperator, there's 2 in Outcast Dead. Like the Babu Dakal and his main henchman are both Thunder Warriors.
We'll say with don't know where Will went, but I will say with back to the audiobooks, just listen to Valdor, finished that up about a week or 2 ago. Is really good as an audiobook because during the scene, there are certain scenes where there's basically not an interrogation, but a questioning going on, and it takes place separate from the rest of the narrative, and it sounds like you're listening to a recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd hate that.
It's written like it's a transcript of a recording.
Yes, but you
I
actually
also-
listen into the actual recording of an interrogation.
Does it also have the low quality and all the weird wrestling and bullshit?
A little bit.
Ah,
A little bit.
nah.
um,
When I listen to an audiobook, I want an audiobook and not an audio play.
See, I like the audio plays. I love the audio dramas. I like it. Some people don't like them, but I love that movie in my head.
Yeah, I don't like the audio
Reading.
dramas, but for audio books, I really like Prospero Burns.
Yep, Prospero
And I-
Burns is a great one.
I had the pleasure to do a little bit of gaming with Graham McNeil because him and Dan Abnett wrote Prospero Burns and 1,000 Suns, and it was like a day of gaming. It was an 828 event, so I was like hanging out all day. He was hanging out all day, rolling dice and having a good time. And eventually, I just couldn't stop myself from fanboying because I was like, he just wants to come roll dice with like his buddies, and that's cool. Like I don't want to like ended up fanboying a little bit there at the end. And I asked because reading them, there are parts of Prospero Burns that drag because he like repeats whole chapters. Like the main character will wake up in the same room, like reliving the same dream or memory over and over again.
Okay.
And it's like a half page of text. And it's annoying to just read that and read it, and eventually you just wind up skipping it because nothing changes. But listening to it, it's a much like, and I enjoyed reading it, but it's a much better listen. And I asked him if it was, and like 1,000 Suns, which I thought was a better read, is not great to listen to because all the names are so weird that it's hard for me to keep track of them all in my head.
I will say I love the theme music they had for 1,000 Suns for the audiobook. It's different from everything else, and it's really cool.
But I asked Graham, like, was it intentional that you guys wrote the 1,000 Suns that it would be better to read because they're nerds, and the Space Wolf book better as an audiobook because they don't keep written records? And he just gave me a grin, like either a knowing I'm not going to answer that because it's right and I'm really happy that you discovered this, or a you're real fucking crazy and way deep into this Kool-Aid, so I'm just gonna smile and humor you.
Wave and smile.
I'd like
it was
to think
probably
it was the
that.
first
Don't
one.
feel good
Yeah,
about yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, right.
Closest to car.
But anyway, it's a real good listen. And if you thought Prospero Burns dragged a little bit, reading it, a listen is the better way of doing it.
The other audiobook I would say you should do is Betrayer, just because there's never enough betrayal in your life, and because this book, the world leaders sound amazing, all the voices are great. It's just a lot of fun to listen to. And the other one would be also The First Heretic, because I really love the demon voice of Argotal. Also, in general, just books. I need to listen to books in general, otherwise I don't understand the names.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing with me. Like, I can't quite retain details as much listening to the audiobooks. But it's been a while since I read in general. So, yeah, Cindy Huggins says, I agree completely. Betrayer was one of my absolute favorites. Same with First Heretic.
Those
So,
are really good books.
They're good books.
Yeah, I just reread First Heretic. You're welcome, Caro. And
Yeah, I need
I'd
to-
forgotten how much fun it is.
Yeah.
What? 1,000 Suns is. I prefer Prospero Burns over 1,000 Suns.
Yeah.
Like, 1,000 Suns is not bad. Prospero Burns gives a pretty interesting, nice perspective. Especially, it's very human centered, which is rare. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I mean, naturally, but also
Of course.
I just super enjoy it. Prospero deserved it.
Puppy.
Controversial topics here.
Which one? I think Space Wolves.
Legion. The Legion? Are you talking about Thousand Sons?
the
or are you
book,
talking
or-
about Legion? The
Space Wolves Legion.
I mean,
Or the,
Legion or the books, the Legion. Or no. Well, the books is not bad.
The book is just called
Alpha Legion book.
Now we're all confused.
Yeah, I mean, the Alpha Legion book I did not enjoy. That was weird.
Nick on Facebook asks, "Is a Black Shield or Shattered Legion's army a good good army to start with if you're new to the game, or would you recommend one of the standard legions, militia, mechanicum, etc.?"
Black Shields and Shattered Legions are not a good place to start. They work in different ways. There's a lot of stuff that can get either totally crazy, super powerful, or kind of hobble each other. Black Shields are tough to write a list for too, I found. So I would not jump right in with that. If there's a legion you can pick that, yes, this is what I want to do, I would go with that first. Militia, you could start with militia just fine. Same with mechanicum, but I would not. Black Shield and Shattered Legion are something you work towards, not, generally speaking, not something you jump right into.
Unless you have a very good grasp on the rules.
Yeah.
Or people who have a grasp on the rules.
Yeah. Who can help you out, help you write down a list.
I have a counterpoint to this.
Sure.
And I would say it depends on why you want to do Black Shield or Shattered Legions. Because if you want a Shattered Legions army because you really like, Salamanders and Iron Hands and can't pick between them, fuck it, right? Like, do 1,000 points of each, play around with them a little bit, maybe run them together a bit, run them separately a bit, figure out which one you really like.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
And all the clicking.
You see you. Thousand Sons. I love Thousand Sons. No.
Oh, fracking heretic.
Well,
Mr. Balk mentions the scene in Betrayer when Latara treats Delvar, or whatever the guy is meant to be, guarding the ship. So good in the other book.
That's the best dressing down of the heresy.
it is perfect.
It really is.
Latara is one of my favorite.
And that includes the lion backhanding that one dude's head off.
Backhanding who?
One of his own chapter.
Oh, that, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one of the other reasons I added to the list of why the lion is a horrible Primarch. One of many things.
That's a long list.
Because he killed one dude. Because he killed one dude. Who hasn't killed a one dude?
He killed
backhanded his head off for upholding the Emperor's decree.
Yeah, of his own legion, I'm pretty sure he's the only one that's killed his own dude.
Yeah.
Angron, hello.
From all the,
of the loyalists.
other...
Of the ostensible loyalists.
Sanguinius.
Yeah, but he puts them down. It's not like
So weird.
I mean, what are you going to do with those guys?
Look, if the only person you can compare yourself to in a positive way is Sanguinius, you failed.
Really? That sounds pretty good to me.
Sanguinius, well, anyways, but still, he doesn't kill them because they say something bad. It's because they're on a wild rampage.
Well, what
because
are you working on over there? Because it looks
It's like a found footage Blair Witch Project type hobby thing.
Right?
I don't know. He doesn't talk to CJ.
Jared, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can Jesse hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can all hear you. Can you hear us is the question.
Probably not.
While he's working on that.
Dead to us.
What the
I
hell?
can hear you. I don't know why you can't hear anyone else. Everyone's fine.
I mean, well,
Shadow Legion, because I got hobby ADD and ended up with a squad of Fist veterans, 2 squadrons of DA, and I'm working on some 15th. Yeah, that'll happen too.
Like, if you can't settle down and it's 2020. You can be polyamorous if you want. It's fine. I have the other problem. I've tried on several occasions to do another Legion, and I've never got more than halfway through painting the first squad. Like, I had an awesome Alpha Legion idea, bought like a bunch of Alpha Legion shoulder pads, got some extra models for it, started to do it. I've got 5 like prime 2 colors
Jared,
Alpha Legion.
if you can hear me, can you give me the middle finger? Yeah, all right, okay. Jesse, if you can hear me, can you give me the middle finger? Oh shit! Okay, cool. Okay.
We can all hear
Alright,
you,
I
Will.
Just
can't
once
hear-
for good measure.
Yeah, I just can't hear Jesse at all, man. This is bizarre.
That's so weird.
Okay.
That
Can you
is-
hear
I
me?
don't know what to fix. Yeah, maybe I'll leave and come back later.
Can you hear Caro?
Let me try that. Let me try to leave and enter
Can you
again.
hear any of us?
Maybe not. Well,
Who knows?
yeah, first of all, we need to do some more fan service on Notara because she's amazing.
Oh, and lost Jared.
Wow. Okay.
They're all dead
yeah.
to us.
Latara, yes, is a
Yeah.
badass character.
She's great, but we named a bunny to her honor,
Yes, we have a rabbit named Latara.
and she's still hateful as Lotara is.
And don't talk back the line. Not a lot of rules in the First Legion, but that's definitely at the top of the list. That is correct.
Yeah, but that rule's stupid. If you can't stand being back talk because somebody else is correct, then you're not a good leader. You need to be able to take criticism.
Oh,
without
there they
stopping
are.
somebody
There you
else.
go.
Now I can hear.
He can hear us. All
There
right.
we go.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Coolio.
Bring it up.
Jerry rigging my phone. Okay.
We're sending on
here-
Twitch says his
here-
male
here
cats
is
name
my-
of Traders,
here's my-
Forrest, Lupercat, and Conrad Purrs. Oh,
I
man.
love
I didn't
this.
know JC was here.
You're just begging to be murdered in your sleep by your own cats, aren't you? I love it.
See, we have
So I got
Local?
my hobby light, and then I got like a C clamp, and I'm gonna C clamp my phone to the hobby light.
Good
There
luck,
you
man.
yeah, good luck. No, we have
Yep, nothing can go wrong there.
we took in 4 rabbits. Latara, Loken, Zephon, and Talos. Because after all, we need to have a group imbalance, even if they have nothing to do with each
It's
other.
true. Jared had to run, so bye, Jared.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Oh,
But Lupercat.
Yeah, nice crotch
Lupercat,
shot
like
there,
that.
Will. Hell yeah.
Are you?
Really?
yeah,
Y'all just see him a junk?
yeah. That's all we got.
Well, it's a good thing I wasn't naked like I normally paint, I suppose. Oh man, my desk is a mess. But
But yeah, zoom in. Hang on, one second. I'm going to bring you up. Bring it on in.
Ooh.
Put you first and foremost. Look at that, guys.
There we go.
Oh, look at that.
Get him right on up. What are you working on there, Will?
well, I got these. I got the Ultramarines here. I'm working on. I got a edge highlight there, gold right now.
Mhm.
And then the other half of the Breachers, same thing. So they're both at the stage now where the gold needs highlighting.
Very cool.
So yeah, I'll just be doing that, man. I figure if I'm on, might as well get some work done. But
Yeah.
when they're done, they'll look like this little dude. Not sure
Oh,
how
that's
he looks
cool.
for you.
Yeah.
Bring him in a little
But,
bit closer. There we go. Oh,
Too close.
now we're out of the film, and now we're out of the lens.
Move up.
There, to the
Right?
right. Oh,
There it
oh,
is.
There we go.
There we
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
ready to fuck up some word bearers.
He gonna
That's
kill some
Pretty good
people.
for an Ultramarine.
And ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
you too can actually win this army
Mhm.
because it is being donated to the Nova Open Charity Foundation. So, yeah,
You can win them.
It's
You
come
can
another
try
time.
to. Spend money and give
And
it to charity.
then
1,500 Zone Mortalis Force.
in between that, okay, real quick, I need you to tell me
Uh-huh.
where I'm in the center. Am I in the
That's the
center,
center.
yet?
That's the
That's
center
the
right
center?
there. Yep. Oh God, don't cut yourself.
It's a hobby blade. That's dull. I just
Yeah.
need to know where that
That's-
spot is.
That's never going to cut anybody.
Yeah.
Also,
Everybody
just
knows
my
those
butt
dull
hurts not
hobby
good.
blades don't cause like the most cuts. All right, so in between that, I got this rescue project.
I would say that Lehman Russ's model is real good.
Oh, what's this? What in the
Jesus
world?
Christ! So these are the skill axe. Oh God,
That's these Galax.
yeah.
Oh,
So
there
these,
we go.
these
Yeah.
these little dudes, I got to rescue them and get them on their new bases. These are what Jared paid for the terrain in, were these little
Ah.
dudes.
Gotcha.
So in between the gold, I'm hoping to get them on their new bases.
Very cool. So I'm going to try different things here.
Oh God.
Someone else talk.
And for that, I got the secret weapon miniature bases,
Nope. Okay.
which are,
Yep. Bring them back.
unfortunately, these are like the bases that I started doing the project with.
I do
So
like those
they-
bases.
They maintain the ones I have to keep using it with. You know what I mean?
That's your entire other army is made of that. So
yeah. So I got the 40 mils because I thought these guys were 40 mils at first. Turns out they're 32. And then this big boy right here is for the other Moirax.
Gotcha. To the person watching us on Periscope.
Oh, we do have a dude on
congratulations for
Periscope?
finding us. I put it in there. I was like, what the hell? But yeah.
Somebody? Oh.
Makeup brushes, dudes. If you guys aren't using makeup brushes yet for like dry brushing, you get on that train. Get on it.
I don't know. Vulcan just freaking blasted a child with fire for some reason. To be fair, I was seen as child, but still.
He's the Khan, not the Kant.
I mean, I'm really curious how the Jaggertai Khan model will look like. The White Scars are also a very interesting legion. I like them a lot. Just so much white. So much white.
But I do like the idea that you can do like
No.
a pioneer company, right? And the pioneer companies can be gonna grip it and rip it, y'all.
Grip it and rip it, baby.
Jesus, Jesse, come on. Children
But,
are terrorists. There we go. That's
the-
great. I
The
did not
pioneer
say that.
companies are pretty cool.
You run the comments. I'll be right back. I gotta get a refill.
Oh, you bring me something too. Oh, they were
Like that
releasing a new jet
Quarantine
bike
hair
model.
right there. Okay, I'm back. Refill. Oh god.
Meanwhile, it's also disassembling shelves. I mean, which other Primarch models are missing currently? Clearly the Khan.
I think it's just the Khan and the Lion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I mean,
Right? Because, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Current, yeah.
yeah, all of them have an
At
official
least
one.
we've seen the lion.
It's true.
Here, the rumor mill
But
says.
he'll get there. He'll get there
Mhm.
someday.
The rumors say he's going to have a mounted and dismounted model, which would be pretty awesome.
It would be really cool.
No,
Especially because, like, if they came with different rules, you know? Yes, presumably, after they get done with the Khan and the Lion, it'll be off to, Demon Angron and all them.
I mean, some of them already have demon models. The question is, will they make new ones for 30k? Like,
Yeah, that's true. Will Morty get a new sculpt, or will it just be like, there's Morty?
yeah, that's the question. Or is it just, oh yeah, we have those 40k model. Let's
Because
just
technically, there wouldn't be any difference really between Demon 30k Mortarion and Demon 42nd Millennium.
Yeah, he's described as exactly how he looks.
Yeah.
You know.
nice. Well, but here's also good a chaos ridden Horus. I don't. From the descriptions in the book, he looked still the same but more powerful. So I don't know if that would warrant a new model.
I thought he got a new suit. He got a new suit of armor, but I don't know. I can't remember what he's modeled in. The actual model. But I will say, you're probably going to get a new Horus model just because we're getting a Big E at some point for the end of all of this.
You already think
And if it's not a diorama of Big E, Horus, and a dead Sanguinius on a set of stairs, what have we been doing for the past 10 years?
Yeah, what has all this been for?
I mean, there's already a Sanguinius model. You just need to make it less dynamic, I guess, and more dead.
Just take a heat gun to it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Lay it on
Well,
high.
I don't know, guys. I don't know his pose. Have you ever looked at it from like a laying down perspective?
I have not seen it in person yet, so that
looks like he's laying down dead on some steps. I'm just saying.
You can totally make that work. I chopped the feet off Primarch. You can also chop him up and in half.
Yeah.
So another question we have here is, who's left for the character series now? Saul got one. So
Oh, dude, they could do so
I
many.
mean, there's so many.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many good characters.
Look at book 6 again, right? Like we were talking earlier. There's a lot of characters in book 6 that they could add in.
Yeah, and I mean, you could go real down the rabbit hole. Like, hey, here's some people from the Adaba Free Corps. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome. I'd buy a set. You know, something for everybody. Or God, or like a character series of the Old 100. Man, I'd love that.
Yeah, even if it wasn't like a whole army, just like one dude.
Yeah,
That
I
you
mean,
could collect.
There's probably as many, minor but memorable characters as there are, Black Library books at this point. So 50 odd, they could do them for years if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And it won't
Now,
stop
personally,
coming.
I mean, I know I'd like to see a good sculpt of Medusan. I mean,
Yeah.
I've already kit bashed my own, but like we saw people who kit bashed Sol Tarvitz, and then they dropped Sol Tarvitz, and it's like, dang, he looks fucking cool, man. You know,
Yeah, they did a really good job on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't imagine him with long hair, so that's pretty neat.
Oh yeah. Well, so if you ever played the little mobile game called Legion.
Yeah, Horsehair, the card game Legions. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one.
No. I'm sorry. Maybe it's called Drop Site.
Oh, that.
It's a little base
Horsehair,
management.
Yeah.
They have Sol Tarvitz is the guy who you talk to, and he's the leader of the loyalist on the planet, and he does have long white hair.
I might actually have that game on here. Oh yeah, Drop Assault. That's what it is.
That's it. Yeah.
I haven't played this in months.
Yeah.
That's Loken, and then there's Abaddon.
Man, Loken looks derpy as shit.
They got a really fun cartoony style for everybody.
They do. Yeah.
Loken is a blondine.
But yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm not going to go back to playing this right now.
Yeah.
Now you get stuck in the rabbit hole. You're like, oh shit, I got to farm for resources now.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of the GW independent store model that's based on Dylan from Predator?
I mean, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He makes me happy.
Looks-wise, very cool. The fact that there's such the scarcity that they're going for $325 on eBay is a bit concerning.
Yeah, not a huge fan of that.
Nope.
But overall,
No.
like, if we're just talking about objectively the model, really
Gorgeous.
cool.
Yeah.
Very fun. Yeah. And I would love to see a whole line of Catchican. Is it Catchican? Not
Catchican.
Is it?
Catchican.
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 Kind of catch.
Yeah, I would love to see a whole line more in that style than like the. I mean, yes, he's still muscular, but he's not like. I don't feel he's cartoonishly muscular.
Well, that's because the Cadian trooper or Catchican troopers are from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
You can. The 90s were wild times.
they were, and
lot of cocaine going around.
Damn, I missed those times.
These are plasma above cow. Which one is that?
Yeah, honestly, Ultramarines, I'm usually so blind.
oh, the one that's like best buds with that word bearer, and he's like, "Oh, we're so happy to see you," blah 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 blah, and that word bearer just unloads a plasma pistol.
Yeah, can't wait for his.
Oh yeah.
Nick on Facebook asks, "How did each of you decide on your first Heresy army?" So I can answer that for myself. When I first started, I started in 6th edition in Warhammer 40K. Whenever that came out, I was still brand new to it. I really didn't know much about Warhammer, and I picked up Dark Vengeance and thought, "Wow, these Dark Angels look really cool," and I love the knight aesthetic. So, and I kind of stuck with that, and it just naturally, when I got into Heresy, I just went, "Yeah, love my Dark Angels. Keep on going."
So for me, I knew the game a little bit. I knew I despised the Emperor before I read any of the books. I read the first 3 books. I decided Horus is also pretty bad. And I fell in love with the World Eaters with Angron, with the whole thing. I just like them a lot. And of course, how couldn't you? Fulgrim and the Third Legion. They're just awesome. I like those two a lot. But also I dibble into every legion. I think I have way too much models, way too many models. I have a problem, that's it. But they were just the most interesting, the least bland ones. And they were not the self-righteous good guys following the Emperor.
How about yourself, Austin?
Well, I love the Guard, and the Guard love me. My first real army, because I bought somebody's Space Marine army. They were Dark Angels, third hand, and repainted them with my mom's like acrylic wood paints, and like I've still got one. I've got one in my display shelf. That's the best. Next time you guys are over, when this is all done, he's in my display shelf, and he is the best painted of those models.
Awesome.
I don't know where the rest of them went, but he's still around. But Guard was my first real army, because like I just love a guy with a flashlight, like trying to be a hero, man. Life's shit. And I also really love the Space Wolves. I started playing in like 3rd edition before they got as Wolfy McWolf as they are in current 40K. And
It was really grimdark.
well, not.
Dang.
I mean, it certainly feels more grimdark then than it does now. I'm sure that's a lot of rose-tinted glasses, but they were much more like Space Viking as opposed to Space Werewolf.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And like it was kind of a toss-up when I started this Space Marine army between them and White Scars, and I didn't want to paint white. And the Space Wolves had just got this sweet new plastic box of Space Wolves, so that settled that. And then for 30K came around, and it was cool. I was out in LA, not a lot of people were playing it. But it was like, yeah, this would be cool. And then Militia dropped, and I said to myself, oh, God, Emperor, here we go. And now I've got 5 of them, 5 militia armies, and a 6th one building.
You have a problem, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then my Space Wolves came, and like they're my babies, so I got it.
I'm a normal male. I like my heroes named Johnson and dudes wearing robes hanging out on the rock with little invisible dudes.
Sounds a lot like
It's true. It's true. It's a lot
Hogwarts.
of fun.
How about you, Will?
Let me unmute him real quick. There. What you?
So
You got a lot of crinkling going on
I
there, Will.
am I the one crinkling? I thought you
Yeah.
were the guys crinkling.
No, it's
You're doing
you.
it whenever you talk.
I've been muting you.
Let me leave and come back 1 second, all right?
Okay. All right. We'll come back to that question with him a little bit later. Mr. Ball mentioned, didn't they release a female Catchkin sergeant at a store opening mini? I think they did. I seem to remember that.
Yeah, she was definitely around. I'm not 100% sure if she was store opening mini, but
Maybe they're working on. Maybe I do remember seeing that on Warhammer Community, and that'd be a pretty cool trio to have on your shelf.
it really would be.
The old dude, the new dude, and her.
Well, they had a yeah. Let's see. Let's get
And
all-
if you can get the old Last Chancer, that's like a female catechin.
there you go, Will.
How's that? Am I still? You guys are still popping for me. Am I popping for you?
You're better. Yeah, it was a store opening model. I have the interwebs. I looked it up.
I don't hear as much popping.
That is so
Oh.
weird.
Are you wearing headphones on your phone?
No, but I'm just wondering why it's still. I mean, it shouldn't be picking you. You guys aren't hearing feedback.
No, we're not.
No, it's like you're crinkling a bag of potato chips.
Yeah, I know.
Is that already
But it's not as
something?
bad right now.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty good now.
it's
That's
better.
fucking weird. Because y'all to me sound like you're crinkling popcorn and shit.
It could be because you're on a mobile phone. It might be some here. I don't know how to describe it, but there. But how did you decide on your first heresy army?
All right. Hopefully Poppin's calm. So I found Forge World by accident. I Googled buy Space Marine models. because I had been playing Tau and I wanted to play Space Marines. So I Googled it thinking like, oh, it's going to take me to Amazon or Games Workshop or whatever. But it brought me to Forge World and I was like, what the hell is this? And so I just went down that rabbit hole and I found the Iron Hands Strike Force that they had at the time, which was like, I think 20 tactical Marines and an Iron Father. And I was like, yeah, oh, this is cool. I really like the way this looks. And then I just happened to be scrolling through Imager, and I found Tim Corbulo from Eye of Horus.
Yeah.
He had posted up a bunch of pictures of an event they had that was like 1K points. And I was like, oh, okay, so everybody has a Sikarin, so I should probably get one of those too. Since everybody, I felt like at least every other picture had a Sikarin in it, so I was like, I'll get one of those too. So
it's a hot
yeah,
take.
I bought that. I bought that battle set because they looked the coolest. Honestly, that's how I got into Iron Hands was they looked the coolest, and then I started reading up about fluff and that kind of stuff and what they were, who they were exactly. But yeah, man, that's how it all started. Just I found that I thought they looked cool and went with it because they had they were like the Mark III armor was just so unique to me compared to like the general power armor I had seen, which was Mark VII. And I was like, these guys look like knights, but they've also got like cyborg arms and shit. These guys are sweet, man. So
yeah,
that was it.
Very cool. Let's see, but
You go ahead and mute me because the popping probably is going to persist.
just wave your hand in front of the camera if you want to talk, and I'll put you on.
Flail wildly.
Isn't the old story that Rock was a gay bar near the original GW site in Higham? Allegedly, yes. And Lionel Johnson was a poet who wrote the poem Dark Angel. That is correct. Oh, it's Laz Rifle Gary. He's behind you eating some carrots. He's super stoked for fresh veggies.
That explains
That
it.
could be all of Will's sprinkling, yes.
Yeah.
Is Laz Rifle Gary here today?
In your house, eating your vegetables.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh man, he's a loud eater.
It's really rough right now. Sicarius is assassin in Latin. I mean, High Gothic, right, Austin? This is Garner.Tree of Woe, by the way, so thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
On Twitch.
Yeah, if memory serves. I mean, the Latin, not, it's been a long time since 8th grade in Catholic school. But yeah, faux Latin. Although it is funny, I was reading, God, I forget, one of the major authors was going like, yeah, it's a little annoying that everybody like Latinizes everything for High Gothic because it's not, like Latin isn't High Gothic. So you can pick any, really old language and do it. And my first thought was, yeah, you're technically correct, but if all GW does is bad Latin, then
Y'all get comfy. Y'all get comfy. Austin's about to do his High Gothic Latin spiel. Y'all get comfy.
Oh, I was done. I was
done?
restraining myself.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to do it. It's happened. It's on one of the episodes. You can go find it.
Hashtag triggered.
Oh man.
Cracking bad Latin. It's not bad Latin.
Made
It's
up
regular High Gothic.
What's the nice thing about made-up languages? Nobody can tell you you're wrong.
Except for
Apart from
Klingon, because they have college courses in that now.
GW, I don't.
Klingon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Klingon. Yeah.
And Sindarin. So you could be wrong in both Klingon and Elvish.
See, I'm happy with the two languages I kind of know. I don't need to add a third.
I mean,
tried.
you're already like at least one better than me, so.
Huh. Well, how did? Oh man.
Yeah. Mine was a very tiny priest. Trying to teach me declinations was never going to work.
You had a priest in Latin and not in religion? Wait, right, you don't have religion classes, right?
I went to a Catholic school.
We do.
We had priests for a number of things. But interestingly, the religion class wasn't taught by a priest or a nun. Taught by a very angry Hispanic woman who we all hated. She also taught the Spanish. It was not great.
Well, no, I just get triggered because English and German are distinctly not the same.
Oh, here we go.
No, English is so much worse.
It's true.
No, like it's less flexible, and trying to figure out words is just horrible because it doesn't work.
That's because we're not a language. We're 3 languages in a trench coat.
Exactly. Well, German, yeah, the grammar is a nightmare because we gender everything for some reason. But, you can do a lot of cool stuff. And way too many jokes don't work in English.
Mr. Balwick on Twitch says, anyone want to name a Warlord Titan? So far, I have Scylla and Charybdis. So I can make shitty puns about being stuck between a rock and a hard place whenever I shoot at something between them.
Great.
I know
What Legio?
which is named Scylla.
What Legio are you running?
I'll answer here in a second.
Yeah.
It says he is planning on 3 Warlords. English has a low and high register.
I don't know what it's supposed to mean.
I don't know what it's supposed to mean.
Low register in English is German. High register is Latin.
Oh, I get it. It's how we made up that like Equus is horse.
Sabaton.
Like the fancy word for horse is Equus stuff. The classier you are, the more Latin you put into it. The more lowbrow you are, the more German you put into it.
Yeah.
Will wants to talk, I think.
Oh. Well, I have him unmuted, but I don't see him.
He's just wiggling his fingers at us now.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to talk.
Yeah, Carol actually introduced me to Sabaton.
They're the best.
It's been fun for a few years now.
It's amazing.
My yearly concert. Sabaton.
If you
need to listen to them.
If you ever start a militia army, I highly recommend Sabaton's World War One album they just put out a little while ago.
The Great War. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. His Legion, he was looking at Sutravora or Kaitos. He's not sure yet.
Tough call.
Yeah, Sabaton does put on a good show. I've been to 2 or 3 of their live shows so far. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let's all stare at Will while he's painting.
No, to the live show. It is nicer to watch Sabaton here because in Germany everybody keeps screaming "Noch ein Bier." It's annoying.
What does that mean?
Another beer. It's a thing where Joachim just keeps drinking beer when enough people scream it. He just takes a whole bottle and drinks it on X.
Yeah.
And people keep screaming for him to drink Noch ein Bier.
Yeah. Corollas Rex is really good too.
It is. My favorite is still The Last Stand. Just the whole album.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Huge fan of The Art of War, actually. It's still it's one of their older ones, but not too old, but it's a lot of fun. We actually started talking about Sabaton. I guess I wore the shirt for a reason then.
Subtle product placement.
It's super comfy too. I love a good concert t-shirt. They're like super soft.
It is very soft. Think of anything technical. Yeah. Anyways. So what name would you give Austin, the 3rd warlord? Now we know it's Sutravar or Kairos. What would be the 3rd name? Right? I mean, I don't even know what the first 2 mean, so I would probably name it Debbie or something. Imagine how embarrassing it is to be called by a warlord named Debbie. That's one of the reasons why I don't have them.
This is a thing. Like, if you had like Sutarova, you'd go with something, maybe fiery related. But Krytos is not like you gotta. I don't know. I like theming my names either to the Legion or to the Legio, or some subtle inside joke.
Such as
Indominus.
Well, like all of my Titans are named after famous quotes about war. And just like shittily Latinized them to whatever sounded, did the Latin translation, tweaked it if it didn't quite roll off the tongue right, and called it good. So if you got rock in a hard place, you don't know. Rock in the sea? Meh? Who knows? I'm sorry, I've got nothing. Got nothing. It's been a long day.
It has. It's been a good day, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, built my
Like I
little
said,
kitten shed and
Yeah.
finished my fucking 6mm Russians finally.
Oh,
Makes me very happy. So now I can play games.
Ah, there we go.
Scylla
Yeah.
and Charybdis were in Odyssey. Scylla is a hydra that ate people, but Charybdis has a whirlpool that destroyed ships. In order to avoid the Scylla, you have to go through Charybdis and vice versa. It was the origin of the term between a rock and a hard place, basically.
Honestly, why don't you name it in Odyssey? The Last
Poseidon.
Warlord. Or Poseidon, yeah.
Nick asks, do you name your Battlefleet Heresy ships?
Honestly, you should name
Absolutely.
everything. Name
It's
everything.
massively unlucky to sail a ship with no name. Actually, no. I do have a good name for your third one. I would make sure it has the head that's just a single visor, right?
Oh, Cyclops.
And call it Cyclops. Yep.
Or if you want to go for German, Cyclop.
Yeah. Or what was Polyphemus?
Oh, yeah.
That was his name? That was the Cyclops' name? Yeah. But yes, I name all of my Battlefleet Heresy ships, including the escorts, because to do otherwise would be to beg for death.
Yeah.
And it's great too because it helps differentiate them, and people they get character and form grudges. Like Steven has an active bounty out on one of my light cruisers because it consistently just punches way above its weight and has killed his Styx heavy cruiser, I think, on 3 separate occasions.
It hates them, yeah. That's
Yeah.
fair.
And then Sonadal, my flagship, it just ruins people the same way, even though it's an Oberon. And technically speaking, the Oberon is not a top tier battleship at all, but it gets the work done, and it makes me very happy. So yes, name all your Battlefleet Heresy ships.
Or what I sometimes do is I name things after the first fight, because what happens then decides for me what their name is.
Yep. I did that with my Macarius.
Mm.
Couldn't think of a good name when I got her because I was just so astonished to have gotten her.
Had to earn a name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. And she did. Blew the shit out of Steven's poor fucking Fury of the Ancients list.
Garner would like to take the opportunity to thank us all for the extra content. You're very welcome. It's been fun. I've had a chance to spread out a little bit and try little different things here and there. Little Battlefleet Heresy miniseries, trying this video streaming and things. Just
We got
trying
nothing
different
but
things.
time.
It's true.
Yeah, we're both bored and realized that you guys were bored, and we're like, well, let's put out some more content then. Fuck it.
It's like we enjoy doing this, so while we're here, we might as well do more of it.
Right?
Since we have the chance to. So you're very welcome.
Not like we can go out and play games instead.
You're welcome. Let's see here. Mr. Balbic also thinking stuff like Ember Heart or Cinder Prince because Sutrivora and Flames, but honestly, puns.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if
Nothing wrong
that's
with
the
that at
Legion
all.
you're going with. But Ember Heart doesn't work as well for the other one. But yeah, no, I do like.
I don't know. The last one time I played BFG or BF. I remember that was a reactor fire. Everything died, exploded. I ramped another ship. We had a good time. It was a short time, but a very good time.
Yeah, it was your first game. I think it was Austin or Steven, or maybe both of them.
It was Steven, yeah.
Yeah, and I just freaking. I think in the end I damaged my own stuff more than what he even did, but he had to run away because it was just so bad for him.
But he had a warp implosion.
Yeah, I had a warp implosion, and the warp implosion did more damage to my own ship than Steven did to my stuff. but I dealt so much damage with it that he just had to turn around and leave. So yeah, Massensterben would have been a very good name for a ship.
Maybe we'll look
Yeah.
at some Battlefleet Heresy.
We have all those ships.
We do have a bunch of ships.
Got all those ships. You should paint all those ships.
Was to take one of the black books and play the word bearer against Ultramarines.
The Calth campaign, yeah.
The Calf campaign.
Yeah.
This campaign in the sky, and then depending on how the encounter go, play them out on the table and figure it out.
And back in the day, there were some missions that included like, oh, play this BFG game, and then based on the results, play this epic game, or like play this 40K game, stuff like that. So yeah, you can find missions for that. I think Siege of Vrax, one of the Siege of Vrax books, has stuff for that as well.
Mr. Baldwick on Twitch asks if we can organize another Space Marine night so I can mow more people down with a bolting gun. That was a lot of fun.
It was a good time. I'd be up for it.
Yeah, I would definitely be up for that again. Maybe this weekend. Keep your eyes peeled. I'll try to see if people are available.
Oh, the game, yeah.
I'll ask around, and we'll see what we can get done.
Maybe you get a stream working. That would be fun.
Yeah, maybe I can figure out how to stream that. It's hard because I don't do a lot of video streaming. This service works out really well, but doing a video game and everyone talking at the same time and throwing it onto a live stream is a little bit more difficult. I'd have to really research how that works. So, but we'll still all get around and play at least. So, hey, let me see if I can read this. Du hast mein Flutzuget Träger zerstört. I knew that was coming. I knew that laugh was coming. Flugzeugträger zerstört.
Du hast mein Flugzeugträger zerstört.
That's what I said.
Du hast mein Flugzeugträger zerstört.
The Battlefleet Gothic 2 game is pretty fun too if you haven't played it before too. I actually did open it up and play like the first level in the campaign. It is actually pretty cool. I do enjoy Battlefleet Gothic 2 or Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, I think is what it's called on Steam.
Yeah, yeah. They're fun. They don't play like BFG, the tabletop game.
Right.
But they're a good time. They scratch that spaceship itch a little bit. But I actually got a run. It was nice popping in and chatting with everybody.
Yeah. It's good to talk to you all.
See you later. Bye.
Later.
See ya.
There goes Austin. Will, are you still alive? I can see it painting.
I don't know.
I don't know if he can hear us, actually.
Maybe not. He doesn't react, so.
That's been, yeah. It is what it is. I'm going to zoom in on
There you go.
Ultramarine.
Yeah, it's a pretty Ultramarine. I mean, I have a strong dislike for Ultramarines, but this one looks just so nice.
Yeah.
I'd actually take them.
So yeah, the Nova Open Zone Mortalis charity army, hopefully coming soon. Kara did the bases.
Yep.
Will did the painting. I did a lot of the building of the actual models themselves. And yeah, with your help from the patrons, we managed to go ahead and buy the army outright from Forge World. And we had a few other things lying around here and there, and we managed to scrounge it up and make a charity army.
Yeah, that was really nice. At the beginning, where there was a short consideration of trying to kit bash a lot of the things, but we decided against it because, it should look good, and this is really coming together.
Yeah, they look definitely tactical textbook Ultramarines. So,
let's see.
So I don't know if Will can hear us or not. Will, if you can hear us, you can give us the middle finger. But he's painting right now, so.
Well, who of you guys in the chat will we see at Nova?
Or plan to be at Nova.
Hopefully see at Nova.
If it works out. I think a lot of these people are international, so I don't know if anybody here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Alex Self, all the way from Australia, was planning to come, which is really cool, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I cannot.
Cindy Huggins, no. He's near Nova. Yeah, we are too. We're in Richmond, so about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. Oh.
think he's talking about you.
Calling me an American pig, basically.
No. He doesn't say anything about pig. What he tried to spell seine, which means his pronunciation hurts me, and I'm American. Feel my pain, man. Feel my pain. Honestly, the funds to go. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah, I was planning. People who listen know that I was planning to go to Horus Heresy Weekender this year, and it didn't happen at all.
No, that was even before the vault went down.
Yeah,
it just didn't happen at all. Oh yes.
Oh, nice.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Would be amazing too.
Yeah, Nova is an awesome convention. It's the first wargaming convention I went to, and I went 4 years ago, and I was hooked. That was the first time hanging out with these guys and things. It was a lot of fun.
It's the only wargaming convention I've been to so far, but it feels a lot like festivals. It is great.
Yeah.
Less live concerts, but still good stuff.
I can hear Will wiggle that paintbrush.
I don't know.
It's Termies highlighting the gold. Mr. Baldwick's never been to a con before. I hadn't either until a couple of years ago. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I think way back in the podcast archives, we had a episode where we talked about what to do for your first con. We could probably do something like that again now that we're got a few more under our belt. Not sure if I have an army red, but like to hang out with the rest of the community. Yeah, definitely.
A lot of the time I spend at Nova is not playing at all. I think last year was the first time I played anything. I'm just going there to hang out, meet people, and do some seminars, because those seminars are amazing. And also, it's a good way of getting away from work and just enjoying Nova.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So yeah, absolutely come. Even if you don't have an army ready, or if you just have it partially ready, somebody will play with you.
Yep. All right, and with that, I think Will dropped out on us too. But thank you guys for coming out tonight and hanging out with us. Yeah, I think Will dropped out. Yeah, if you like us, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter. Hang on, let me do this right. If you're on Facebook, check us out on YouTube and Twitch. If you're on YouTube, check us out on Facebook and Twitch and Twitter. If you're on Periscope, you can find us on Facebook, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And yeah, thank you all to our patrons.
Oh no,
I've had a few, but it's been good. It was great hanging out with you all tonight. Had at least a solid dozen all night long, which has been really cool. So, Will's back. Maybe Will.
Maybe
Will he be back? Will he be back?
Well,
yeah. Can you guys hear me?
We saw you heading out. We were going to wrap it up. It's been 2 hours.
Okay.
But thank you, Will, for coming out. What's that?
I said thank you, everybody. I had fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll do this again next time. We'll do this again in the near future, because actually this was a lot of fun hanging out with everybody. So if you like us, let a friend know, share, like, subscribe, hit that button. I don't know what they do anymore these days. I don't.
throw money at us if you see us.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna complain.
Oh, it's Will. The face. Look at that. Look at that.
You're
Got
just jealous.
That quarantine beard, baby. Quarantine buddies.
Go,
Yeah.
I think his hairdo is a bit shorter. Yeah.
Periscope is apparently Twitter's live streaming thing. That's sort of separate, but not really at the same time. I was like, do you want to put this on Periscope? I'm like, sure, why not? Nick, you're very welcome, and hope to see you guys and hear from you again in the near future. Keep those dice rolling. So bye.
Bye.
Bye.